Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the preliminary sum up video. We figured we would give you this first round in a nice little montage of what went down to get you caught up for our quarterfinals, which are going to start tomorrow. We kick things off with Teebling versus Gill. Right out of the gate, Teebling takes the lead with a massive Bowser dinger showing why he is a must-pick captain. Gill tried to answer back with his Moneyball team, but every time he managed to tie up the game, Teebling answered back with some more runs of his own. Teebling really started to run away with this first game in the 7th inning with some incredible hits, making it a staggering 11-4 lead heading into the bottom of the 9th. Gill's not one to quit though, and he gave it his all, landing one of the most incredible Birdo weird balls of all time for an inside the park home run. Unfortunately for Gill, it was not enough, and Teebling took game 1 11-5. We head into a much more competitive game 2 where neither man is willing to give an inch. Both men show incredible batting skills, keeping the game within 1 run of one another until Teebling cracked it open with a 3-run PD homer in the bottom of the 6th. However, you cannot count out Gill because this man manages to go into the 9th inning down 4 runs, and not only did he tie it up, but he took the lead as the result of one of the most heartbreaking bobbles in Dinger City history. Teebling would not be able to put up anything in the bottom of the 9th, making Gill the winner of game 2 10-9. Unfortunately, these knuckleheads forgot to record their 3rd game, but that might be good news for Gill, seeing as Teebling made quick work of him with an 11-0 mercy in the 1st inning. Yikes. Teebling will be moving on to face Dennis in the quarterfinals, who had a round 1 bye. Next up, we had me, Tyler, versus Nolan. At the time of the recording, neither of us had really played a net play game before, so we had to adjust, but luckily for me, I was able to use Birdo's weird ball to streamline this process. Nolan definitely put up a fight with some good performances from his heavies, but he was unable to catch up to my lead, resulting in a 6-4 win for me. Heading into game 2, now that I'd acclimated to net play, I was taking no prisoners, absolutely grinding Nolan into dust in our 2nd game. I went as far as to hit a Birdo Grand Slam, the likes of which was never been seen before on Dinger City. A rip from Toadsworth would make it a decisive 10-0 mercy in the 3rd inning, with myself knocking Nolan out of the playoffs. If you want to watch either of these games in their entirety, they're available over at my channel, Wonderbear HD. The link is in the description. I am going to go on to face the winner of Nick and Spencer in the quarterfinals. Moving on to the final matchup for the bracket's left side, Nick was looking to absolutely drag Spencer through the mud. Spencer was able to put up 1 run against Nick as the result of an anti-chem throw to first, but would ultimately be defeated 9-1, giving Crit Nick the 1st game. In this next game, Crit Nick really let his hubris show, allowing Spencer to choose his entire team before he would ultimately random his own. Nick was able to take an early lead, but as the innings went on, the sheer power of Spencer's team really started to show. A mix of some incredible eggs and some classic Spencer yayas would allow Spencer to tie up the series against Nick with a final score of 5-2. Spencer had a real opportunity to knock Nick out of the playoffs here as a result of Nick playing with his food, but this time around, Nick meant business. Coming out of the gate strong with 6 runs seemed near impossible for Spencer to come back from. Spencer would go on to solidify this claim with nothing short of some of the worst baseball ever played on Dinger City, absolutely throwing the rest of the game and sending Nick to the quarterfinals, where he will face me. To kick off the right side of our bracket, we have Andrew taking on L-Train. These 2 men put up an incredibly defensive game of baseball, with only 3 runs being scored in the entirety of the game as a result of some sac flies and bunts. Unfortunately for L-Train, all 3 of those runs were scored by Andrew, giving City Hall the 1st game of this series. Game 2 was yet another incredibly defensive game between these 2 titans of Mario Superstar Baseball, as only a single run was put up before the 8th inning, giving L-Train the lead for the majority of the game. However, Andrew was playing like a real pro and bunted in a run with Luigi to tie it up in the 8th, and then ultimately won the game with a 2 RBI toad slap to right field. Unfortunately, the L train has left the station, but Hall-O-Maniacs can rejoice as City Hall moves on to the quarterfinals to face Connor, who had a 1st round bye. Next up, we had last year's World Series champion Mr. Joe taking on Coach Bill. Billy came into this matchup with a plan and drafted the 3 best pitchers in the game, Boo, Dixie, and Diddy, hoping it would throw Joey off, but unfortunately it was not enough. Joey pitched a gem with Peach, keeping Billy from scoring any runs in the early part of the game as he piled up 10 runs with a barrage of home runs. Right when it looked like Coach Bill was about to be mercied, they managed to put up 4 runs in the 7th inning to keep themselves in the game. However, Joey would extinguish any hope Billy had, putting up 4 runs of his own at the top of the 8th and ending the game with a late mercy. Unfortunately for the coach, the second game in the series didn't go too well for them either. With a mix of line drives, slap hits, and home runs, Mr. Joe absolutely thrashed the coach with a score of 10-0 and another late game mercy. Joey will go on to face the winner of Jason and Cokes in the quarterfinals. For the final matchup of the preliminary round, we have Little Cokes taking on Dinger City's favorite clown, Jason. Coke started off with some strong slaps, but unfortunately was not able to convert anything into runs early on. It was around the 5th inning that Jason began to unleash his beast and started putting runs on the board like crazy, resulting in the Clam Man being mercied 10-0 in the bottom of the 8th, awarding Jason the first match. Cokes came out of the gate strong, knowing that this second game could be his last. In the first few innings, both men put up 2 runs apiece and the game was looking like it was set to be a real slobber knocker. However, as a result of a few misplays in the field, Jason began to put up more and more runs as the game went on. Cokes tried to keep himself in the game with a 9th inning Pianta homer, but Jason would nail a beautiful wall jump and knock Cokes out of the playoffs with a gorgeous double play, ending the game 7-2. Jason will go on to face Mr. Joe in the quarterfinals. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this summary of what went down in the preliminary round of the Season 8 playoffs. We are going to be kicking off the quarterfinals tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you set your clocks as Dennis is going to take on Teebling in the first round, and it is sure to be a hoot. If you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with your friends. Let them know the Dinger City Season 8 playoffs have begun. And if you want to buy any merch or become a patron, the link is down in the description. We will see you guys bright and early tomorrow. And as always, Dinger City out.